Welcome to another tutorial. Stable Diffusion 3 has just been released, and today I'll show you how to install it and start using it immediately on two interfaces. The first interface is StableSwarmUI, and the second one is ComfyUI, so you can choose the one you prefer. Let's begin with the SwarmUI. I'll provide the links in the description. It's made by Stability AI, and you can find it on GitHub. Currently, it's still in beta. You can install it on various operating systems, but since I have Windows, I'll demonstrate how to install it on that. If you're using Windows 10, you'll need to manually install Git and .NET 8 first. However, if you're using Windows 11, this process is done automatically. Click on the provided link to download a bat file. After downloading, create a new folder. Remember not to place it in the Program Files folder. Instead, choose a location like your D drive. Create a new folder there and name it whatever you prefer. And let's go with Swarm for now. Once the folder is created, move the downloaded bat file into it. Now, navigate to the folder you created earlier and double-click to open it. Windows might prevent it from running, but you can click on More Info and then select Run Anyway. If you're concerned about security, you can scan the file for viruses online, but rest assured, this file is safe. Now it's downloading .NET version 8, which is around 220 megabytes in size. I'll fast forward the video during this download process since it might take some time. Remember not to close any windows until the download is complete. An installer window will appear and it will begin installing what was downloaded earlier. Once the installation is complete, it will proceed to download or update Git. After that, Git will be installed on your computer, followed by some configuration steps. Once everything is done, you'll finally get the SwarmUI installer. At this point, you'll encounter a legal notice. The SwarmUI is under the MIT license, but the models like Stable Diffusion 3 are only for personal use. For commercial use, you'll need to purchase a license. Click on the Agree button to proceed. At this stage, you have the option to simply click on Install, but I'll choose to customize settings to explore the available options. After that, I'll click Next to proceed with the installation. Here you can choose a theme that suits your preference. I think I'll go with Cyber, then I'll click Next. Here you'll find more options for advanced users, but I'll stick with the default settings and click Next. Moving on, you'll encounter options for the ComfyUI. I'll also go with the default ComfyUI. For those with an API key, there's a second option available. And the last option is for custom backend configurations. Now, you'll reach the part where you can choose which models to download. Since all the available models are base models that aren't very good, I won't select any of them. Instead, I'll download my own models separately. Final step is to confirm by clicking on Yes, I am sure, Install Now. And once clicked, you'll need to wait for the installation to complete. And in the command window, you can monitor the progress. At the end of the process, you'll be greeted with the interface. Note that the top bar will disappear after loading is complete. Let's check the installation folder to see what we have there. And if you want to update the SwarmUI, you can click on Update Windows, or the appropriate option for your operating system. Similarly, if you want to launch the interface, you would select Launch Windows. Again, choose the appropriate option for your operating system. To close the existing SwarmUI, simply close the command window. Now, if you click on the launch.bat file, it should successfully launch the interface. What I usually do is right-click on the bat file and create a shortcut. Then I rename that shortcut to SwarmUI. After that, I right-click on the shortcut, select Properties, and choose Change Icon. If it says there are no icons available, I click OK, and then it presents me with some system icons. From there, I can choose any icon I like, such as a star, for example. Click OK, then Apply, and finally OK again. You can then copy and paste that shortcut onto your desktop for easy access. If you double click on the shortcut, you'll see that it runs the interface smoothly. Now let's get those Stable Diffusion 3 models. You'll need to go to the Hugging Face website, links provided in the description. Once there, you'll need to log in. If you don't have an account, simply click on register, just like I'm doing now. You'll be prompted to add your email and choose a password. Click next, then enter your username, full name, check the I agree box, and finally create your account. It asked me to confirm that I am human. These CAPTCHAs are getting more interesting. Then you check your email for confirmation and click on the link you received. Once you do that, you'll get a message confirming that you are verified. Now on the download page, you need to enter your name, email, country, and company. You can also choose whether you want to receive email updates. Make sure to check the box that says, I acknowledge that the model is for non-commercial use, and then hit the Agree button. On the Model Card tab, you can read more about the models. However, you need to click on the Files and Versions tab to actually get the models. The smallest one available is the SD3 Medium. If you're using other interfaces, you can download the second one. But I will get the 4.34 gigabyte version. After downloading, you'll need to place it in the Models folder and then the Stable Diffusion folder. Click Save and wait for it to download. Next, we navigate to the SwarmUI interface and click on the Models tab. Here you'll find a refresh button, which you can use to ensure the interface shows the model you just downloaded. You can select the model from the drop-down menu, and in this case, it should say SD3 Medium. If you choose None, it will deselect that model. Another method to load the model is by clicking on the model thumbnail, specifically on the image preview, not on the text. Once clicked, you'll see that it's now loaded. Let's see if it works, and you can choose from resolution options, a ratio, or input a custom ratio if you prefer, and then type a prompt of what you want to see, such as a cute cartoon bunny in a forest. After that, hit generate. Please note that only the first time you have to wait. You'll notice that it downloads a file called clipg and another one called clipl. Once it's ready, it will generate the image based on your prompt. Let's say it's okay for the first try. These clip models are text encoders and can be found in the text encoders folder. And you can see that both models are here. And it's nice that SwarmUI downloads them for you. What it did was place them in the models folder and inside the clip folder. You can change the seed from here. Like if I click on reuse, I get the seed of the prompt I just used. If I click on dice, it's random. The nice thing is that every setting has a question mark so you can see what it does. Let's see what settings are recommended for this model. Messed up some settings in the recording, but these are the settings you should use. For steps, use 28 steps. For CFG scale, use 4.5. Then go to sampling and enable the sampler. Choose DPM plus 2M for the sampler. And for the scheduler, select SGM uniform. Hit generate to test it out. You can enable this option with text encodings. Here you can choose from different options depending on how good your video card is. Keep in mind that this can take more RAM from what I understand. I'll choose one option. When I hit generate, you'll see that the first time it download another model called T5 in the clip folder, or you can choose both clip and T5. I'll have to play more with those options in the next few days. If you check the licenses on Stability AI, you'll see that it's free for non-commercial use. However, it costs $20 for commercial use. So see which license works best for you. Every time you hit generate, the resulting image is saved in the output folder, local, raw, and labeled with the date of creation. You can create a shortcut to that folder for easy access. You can download more models from Civit AI website, click on models, then navigate to the filters where you can sort them by popularity, such as the most popular in the last month. I personally like to use safe tensor models, Among them, the most popular ones are the SDXL and V1.5 models. One that I frequently use is Juggernaut XL, and in this case, version 10. The Hyper version is faster for those with lower VRAM, but I prefer the results of the X version, so I click download and put it in the same folder under Models and Stable Diffusion. While it downloads, you can check the recommended settings for each model so you know what settings to use when you utilize this model. The one I downloaded is the normal model. For ratio, you can use a custom ratio and input the exact width and height if you want, but I will go with the default size in this case. For samplers, I use the DPM++, and the scheduler is Keras. I'll also turn off the SD3 encoding. For steps, it says 30/40, so I'll use 30 since it's a bit faster. For the CFG, it's recommended between 3/7, so I'll use 5. You can check the info on how the CFG influences the generation. If your video card isn't so powerful, you can try using a smaller model, like an older version of Juggernaut, such as the Reborn version 1.5 model. I'll download it and place it in the same folder with the rest of the Stable Diffusion models. While it's still downloading, let me show you some other things. You have a Comfy Workflow tab where you can perform more advanced tasks with ComfyUI right here. But in a few minutes, I can show you how to install only ComfyUI if you prefer that. From the Generate tab, default window is where you generate. And on Simple, you'll find some simple workflows. Additionally, you have the Utility tab and a User tab. On the Server tab, you can access server info where you can see CPU and video card usage. On the server configuration, you can select your root folders. Right now, it's set to the model root in the models folder, which means this folder from here. Then you'll see all those folders that you have inside with the name for each. The models are now downloaded and we can test them. If your interface is open, you'll need to click refresh to be able to see them. You can see information about the type and what resolution they are trained on. Click on the model thumbnail to load it. I will test all 3 models using a fixed seed with the settings already set for the Juggernaut XL model. I'll add a prompt generated with ChatGPT and then hit generate. The result is quite nice. Next, let's test the smaller one, version 1.5, which can handle smaller images. The result looks like this. Finally, for SD3, I'll input the recommended settings for that model. To get the best quality, I'll enable all I can. The result is this. And here is a side-by-side comparison. Let's move on to the second part where I show you how to install ComfyUI. You'll find the link in the description. Scroll down until you find installing. Since I have Windows, I'll click on the direct link download. Then in my D drive, I'll create a folder named Comfy. You can give it any name you want. Save that zip file inside that folder. Go to that folder and wait for it to finish downloading. Then extract the contents of that archive. It might take a while. Once extracted, navigate inside the new folder. You can read the README file for any instructions. Assuming you have an NVIDIA GPU, click on the Run NVIDIA GPU.bat file. A command window will open where you can see some settings and information about your video card. Then ComfyUI will be ready, and this is how the interface looks like. I also recommend getting the ComfyUI Manager from this page. You can scroll down to the installation section, and you'll see it has 3 steps. I'll copy the text from step number 2, and then I'll start with the first step. Go to the ComfyUI folder and navigate to the Custom Nodes folder. Then, in the address bar, type CMD and press Enter. This will open a command window in that exact folder. Here you paste the text and press Enter. This will use Git to clone that manager into your folder. Once it's ready, you can close that window. Let's go back to the folder where we installed ComfyUI. I'll create a shortcut of the Run NVIDIA bat file. Then I'll rename it to ComfyUI. With a right click, I'll change the icon, maybe to a butterfly, and then click OK and Apply. Now we have the shortcut that we can paste on the desktop so we don't have to enter the folder each time we want to launch ComfyUI. Close any ComfyUI window you have open, and now let's use the shortcut to run it. You'll notice there's an extra button called Manager now. Click on that button, and now you have more options. From here, you can install custom nodes. If you import a workflow from the internet and some nodes are missing, you can click on Install Missing Custom Nodes. You can also install models, update all custom nodes in ComfyUI, or you can update only ComfyUI. Additionally, you have a restart button here. Now that we have the interface, let's get the Stable Diffusion 3 models. Go back to minute 447 of this video to see how I logged in and what information it asked me for to access the models. On the Files and Versions tab, you can find the models. I recommend getting the SD3 Medium model and the second one, which includes clips. Download them and place them in the ComfyUI folder. Then go to Models, then Checkpoints. Here you'll place all the Stable Diffusion models you get from the internet. I'll also add that second model. You'll also need some text encoders. So go to the text encoders folder, download the clip G model, and place it into the models and clip folder. Do the same for the second one, the clip L model. Then repeat the process for the last one with FP8 in the name. If we go back, you can also find a folder with Comfy example workflows. I'll download the first one, the basic one, and I'll create a folder named Workflow on my drive just to be more organized, but you can place it anywhere you like. While the models are still downloading, you can explore the SD3 demo prompts to see examples of prompts you can use. And now that the models are downloaded, I'll go back to the manager and restart ComfyUI. Click on the load button and then navigate to the folder where you saved the workflow. Open it, and that will load that specific workflow with all the nodes. If there are no red nodes, then it means no nodes are missing. If one was red, we can go to the manager, click on Install Missing Nodes. Let's see if it works. Click on the Q prompt button. We got an error. Value not in the list, checkpoint SD3 medium. But we downloaded that model, so let's select it manually from the list. As you can see, the node with the problem has a red contour. You can use the mouse wheel to zoom in and left click on the workspace to pan around. Here on the checkpoint name, it appears to be in a different location. I'll just select the SD3 medium from the list and try to generate again using the Q prompt button. As you can see now, the nodes have a green contour, and you can follow to see how it goes from node to node, each one turning green when it's on it. It's like water flowing through pipes until it hits a wall, and then it will make that node red. And now everything worked perfectly, and we got our first Stable Diffusion 3 generation. The first node lets you load a checkpoint, which can be SD3, SDXL, and so on, depending on the workflow. SD3 uses these clip models. Then you have the prompt area where you write your prompts, and under that is the negative prompt where you write what you don't want to appear. From here, you can also set the width and height and how many images you want to generate at once. In this workflow, the seed is fixed, which means you get the same image for that prompt each time. So I want to make it random, so I'll use randomize from the drop-down menu. Then for the K-sampler, the settings depend on the model. Each model works better with certain settings. For the SD3 model, these are the recommended settings. Lastly, this is the node for previewing the image. You can also use a save image node if you want. Additionally, you can right-click on the image and save it. Let's generate another image now with the random seed. As you can see, it's working, and this is the result. Quite cool. Let's do it again and check the command window to see how many seconds it takes. It seems that on my RTX 4090, it takes around 5 to 6 seconds. You can select nodes and move them around so you don't have to scroll so much and fit more in your window. Or you can put the nodes that you actually use more often closer together. Now, it fits a little better. Let's test another prompt from their list, like this one with the tiger. I'll put it in the prompt area and generate again. Nice, it almost got the open source text on the flag, right? Let's see if it still works if I replace the name with words that are not actually in the dictionary, like my channel name, Pixaroma. As you can see, it struggles with that name, but after a few tries, it can get one right. If you're happy with the workflow, click the save button and save it so you can load it later. If you want to get more models, you can go to the Civit AI website, click on the Models tab, and filter them by model. The most popular ones are older v1.5 models, then SDXL models, and now the latest that appeared is SD3. I will just search for one that I use more often, like Juggernaut XL. Then you can choose either the hyper version, which is faster, or the version 10 that has better quality for me. You should always check here for the base number. Click on the download button, then go to the ComfyUI folder, then models, and then checkpoints, just where we put the other SD3 models. I forgot to test the second SD3 model we downloaded, the bigger one with clips included. I'll select it from the list and then generate again. Nice. This time it got the text right. I'm not sure if it was the seed or just the model is better. Now let's test that Juggernaut SDXL model. If you click on Manager, then where it says Workflow Gallery, click on the arrow and select one like OpenArt AI. That will open their website. Some basic ones that you might want to try can be found in the workflow templates here. You can find one that works with SDXL, like for example, this one with an owl. It says basic SDXL workflow. It has only 13 nodes. Click on it, then download it on your computer. I'll put it next to the other one I downloaded just to be organized. Make sure you save the existing workflow using save before importing a new one. Click on load and select that basic SDXL workflow you just downloaded. As you can see, this one has different nodes. I will add here the SDXL one, but it doesn't appear in the list since the interface was open when I downloaded it. So I have to click refresh first to see the new models. Now I select the Juggernaut X version, and then in the recommended settings on Civit AI, I look at the model and add those settings here. First, the seed was fixed, so I changed it to randomize. For steps, it says 30-40, so I chose 30, and so on for the rest of the settings until I complete it all. I click generate to see if it works. I watch the nodes activate with green, and yes, no errors. And we got our first SDXL generation. This one has the last node, save image. So if we go to the ComfyUI folder and the output folder, we can find all the generations there. You can also right-click on the image and save it wherever you want. If you open a workflow and the nodes are filled with red color and give you an error that something is missing, you can go to the manager and click on Install Missing Nodes. You will see a list here with install on the right, and you can install them one by one until you fix the node error. If you go back to the workflow gallery and click on all workflows, you can find a lot of workflows, but some have over 100 nodes, and it's hard to figure out all the settings and errors. While missing nodes are fixed most of the time, some settings and models are missing from these workflows. Unless they have a step-by-step tutorial, it's better to play around with simple workflows first and try to build your own workflow. Another problem is that having too many custom nodes installed can create conflicts with other nodes. I have a Discord server now. You can join using the link on my YouTube channel. There I post news, resources, and discussions about different AI tools. you are welcome to join. You can also share your AI-generated images. Maybe we can learn from each other. I also have another YouTube channel where I will mainly post short videos with AI experiments. The channel is called AI2Play. If you found something useful, please leave a like. Thank you.